I got a really nice compliment from a resident today, and I've been thinking about what I did right so that I can try to replicate that again in the future and make that happen again. The story kind of started last night because I texted this resident beforehand saying, hey, I'm going to work with you tomorrow. Is there anything I should read up on or be prepared for? And she said, I have a few patients that are going to come in for like back pain and knee pain that I think would be good for you to see. I didn't do like an extensive deep dive into reading articles or anything, but I did quickly look through some notes about what are the top differentials for back pain, top differentials for knee pain, and then what are the questions you ask for it, and what are some physical exams that you can do for it. And today came around and she told me which patients I would be having. So then I looked at the charts. I just did as much of a review on the actual patient as I could. I think that the majority of what went well today was in that preparation. I didn't necessarily like prepare for hours on end, but I primed myself by thinking, okay, how am I going to try to map this out and what am I going to try to do during this visit? Before going in to talk to this patient, I already had the questions planned out that I would be asking them. I had the physical exams planned out that I would be doing with them, and I had a couple of other ideas that it could be and a general idea of what I would do if it ended up being those things. With one of the patients, it was very straightforward and it was exactly what I expected it to be. It was a very common finding, and for the second patient, it was not what I expected it to be at all. It had a lot of atypical findings, so then as I was reviewing it with the patient, I was trying to think of what it could be. But in my mind, I already had some other things that I had thought about beforehand, so then when I ended up doing the exam and getting led in different directions, I kind of had like an idea of what I should do in the case that it's not what I expected. I think that's what I did really well beforehand, is just the preparing and getting in the headspace of like, this is what I need to think about. The second thing that I think went really well came afterwards, and that was when I was presenting to the resident, I had a very clear statement of this is what I think it is and this is why. And when I gave that presentation, everything that I said kind of followed that format, and I would only mention the things that I thought were really, really pertinent to that, and I would honestly leave out a lot of details that I didn't think were necessarily important to that unless I didn't understand how they fit into the picture and I had questions about it. So then, yes, I went and I wrote the note, and then afterwards the resident looked over it and she said to me, she said, what do you want to do? To that I replied, my primary interest right now is anesthesia. And she goes, oh, that's a bummer because I thought you would make a really good family medicine doctor. I was happy about that compliment for sure. So essentially, in summary, what I think went really well was preparing, because by preparing, you kind of get yourself set up for as much success as you can manage at that time. And then also secondarily, I think that having the experience of knowing this is how, like, this is what I think it is and why was really helpful. But in addition to that, when I didn't know something, I would present it to them and say, hey, I don't know how this fits into the picture. And then that was a good learning opportunity for me. So I could do well and learn moving forward. Yeah, I was really happy about that today.